Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Coco and I'm a cozy flavored gamer over here on YouTube, and there is nothing I love more than a cozy farming sim with a hint of magic, which is why I have been so excited ever since finding out about Fae Farm, and finally it is releasing on the 8th of September. I cannot wait. Fae Farm is an exciting, cute, whimsical, magical, super cozy looking farm sim, but it's also been a little bit controversial and a little bit mysterious up until recently. So today I wanted to go through 5 things I reckon you need to know to help you decide if Fae Farm is the right cozy game for you. In case you are new to it, Fae Farm is a cozy single and multiplayer farm sim. The magic is one of my favourite things about this game, and in the new trailers we can see how we use magic all throughout the game, helping us water plants and chop down trees, while also giving us powerful attacks to use in the mines. I also love how cute all the Fae Farm animals are, and I'm really excited to get my first pair of wings. Last time we spoke, Fae Farm was going to be a Nintendo Switch exclusive, but that is not the case anymore, as it's been announced that Fae Farm will be releasing on the PC as well. The biggest factor to note here is that when people have compared the footage, the PC version does look a little crisper, plus on PC there are actually 2 price options, which lead me to the next thing you need to know. It looks like the team has indeed been listening, since the $60 price tag was announced and met with a little bit of shock. When there are already so many fantastic farming games with great stories, I honestly wasn't expecting the $60 price tag either. But I also want to say that maybe those other games should be charging more. Now don't come for me, of course I would love all games to be super cheap. In fact, I already have a series dedicated to really good cozy Switch games that are really cheap, but I also want all the hard work to pay off for the developers. In saying this, I'm happy to say that it looks like the developers have indeed listened, and the PC version will now have 2 different price options. Now when you look on Steam, you can buy the base version of the game for $40, or for $60 you receive the deluxe version. The deluxe edition includes Fae Farm, the official soundtrack, and 2 content packs that will be released by the end of June in 2024. If you have already pre-purchased Fae Farm, you'll automatically receive the deluxe edition, but if you'd rather get the standard edition instead, you can ask Steam for a refund of your previous transaction and pre-purchase the standard edition instead. Either way, if this is a pre-order, then you will still get the Cozy Cabin Variety Pack. Sadly, the basic and deluxe versions are only available on Steam, so if you want this on the Nintendo Switch, then the deluxe option is your only option. For me personally, this means I'm going for the PC basic version, and I'm happy to pay for the content packs later, as I am happy to wait and see if the additional content packs will be worth it for me, and I'm happy to pay a little bit more for them later on. The third thing you need to know before buying Fae Farm is how the multiplayer works. Multiplayer is something that has been a huge part of Fae Farm ever since it was announced, and finally we have a concrete idea of how this is going to work. Excitingly, cross-platform has been confirmed, which means if you're on a PC and your friend is on a Switch, you can still play together. If you do get the Nintendo Switch version and want to play online with friends, you will need a Nintendo Online subscription, or you can always stick with local multiplayer. Another thing to note is that with the game itself, it looks like communication is mostly through emotes, so you may need to set up a Discord channel, a Zoom call, whatever you like on the side, so that you and your friends can chat while you play. The last important thing to note with multiplayer is how the game's story and progression works with multiplayer. When you play with friends, this means one person will be the host and everyone else will join in on that person's game. All the story progression happens on that host's farm, and the only thing that guests benefit from, apart from just the fun of playing together, is the amount of coins you can earn. If you want to have a purely multiplayer farm, you can do so, as you can have multiple save files, and therefore you could keep a save file that is purely for you and a friend, or friends if you can somehow wrangle 3 people together consistently. Or of course you can play Fae Farm solo, or just occasionally with friends who visit your farm. This leads me nicely to talking about a few exciting discoveries about Fae Farm that won't ruin the story at all, but I feel like these things are useful to know if you're weighing up whether to buy Fae Farm. Now, one of the coolest things I've found out so far is that in Fae Farm, you actually end up with 4 farms. Yeah, 4. From what's been revealed so far in lives and gameplay, there absolutely is a story and story progression, and like Wildflowers, you can really go at your own pace with it. It looks to me that you'll be able to uncover different areas as you progress, and within that you'll unlock more farms. A few people wondered if that would actually make the farming more stressful if you have to run 4 farms each day, as the day cycles are pretty quick at around 18 minutes. But the devs have made it clear that you don't need to do things like petting your animals every day to make sure bad things don't happen. There are also warp points you can unlock, which means going between each farm is easy. Fae Farm still has a huge focus on being cozy and not punishing you for enjoying other parts of the game. I love that through little things like this, Fae Farm is really encouraging us to play the game however we want to. For example, depending on your playstyle, you can place particular furniture that grants you various buffs to enhance your stats, which actually gives you a great reason to forage, harvest from your crops and animals, and engage with the crafting mechanics. There is also a way to turn invisible so that enemies won't attack you unless you attack them, meaning you don't actually have to fight in the mines if you don't want to. And there's even an option in the settings that makes fishing easier, just in case you've been struggling. There are other things too that make this game super forgiving, like automatically selecting the tool you need when you interact with objects, and automatically warping you home at the end of the day, instead of a manic rush to get back before you faint and wake up drained. And my favourite parts, of course, I'm gonna say it again, even though there is a great story for you to explore, you get to explore it at your own pace. You can follow the story for a few chapters, focus on farming for a bit, and then pick up the story again, and I love games like that. It's why I love Wildflowers, it's why I think I'm going to love Fae Farm, and it is a huge reason why I think so many people will as well. As far as length of story, I've heard there are 12 chapters in Fae Farm, and I've heard that it took someone about 6 hours to play 3 of those chapters, and really you can play it at exactly whatever pace you want, and we have heard from the developers that there is still heaps to do, discover, explore after the story is finished too. Now this last tip is more of a before you play, and that is to create a Phoenix Labs account. And make sure you do this before you start playing Fae Farm, as if you don't, then your Switch name or your Steam name will automatically be your character's name. For lots of players, that might be exactly what you want for your character name, but not for everyone, and you will need to set up an account for online multiplayer, so you may as well do this all first and be able to edit your character name. When you start up Fae Farm, it will prompt you and ask if you want to make an account. Do this straight away and choose a name that you want to represent your character. When you begin, you will also have to name your world, indicating there is a fair amount to discover, and after you play for a bit, you'll also have the opportunity to name your first homestead. And that is it from me today. There is still so much more to say about Fae Farm, but I will save that for a future video. I hope that this before you buy has helped you decide if Fae Farm is the right game for you. Compared to a lot of cozy games, I understand this is up there with things like Pikmin and Animal Crossing in terms of price. So be as sure as you can, watch as many videos like this or live streams as you can so that you know that Fae Farm is the right game for you. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to see more cozy gaming news, reviews and recommendations, please do consider subscribing. Help this little channel grow and appease the almighty doc gods. I will leave something cozy for you right here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!